Okay, I know this isn't anything anyone wants to see from my channel. You guys all want the next FNAF thing, and I'm working on it, but after the election, and with the outside of my window turning into a tundra, well, I really just need to make a video for me right now. So, what are we here to talk about? CreepyNuts, the hit Japanese hip-hop duo who's been making all those catchy anime openings you love so much, like Dandadan's OP, Otonoke, or Mashal Season 2's OP, Bling Bam Boom. They also made Daten, the OP for a show called Call of the Night, a vampire romance that I will not be watching for this video because I'm not giving Hideout my money. Don't worry, we'll come back around to Call of the Night later. So what, are we just gonna talk about the song itself? Of course not. We'll be watching CreepyNuts' official music video. So if you came hoping that I'd talk about Call of the Night, sorry to disappoint, but please stick around anyway. This video's for you. The opening takes a lot of cues from CreepyNuts' music videos, but because its characters are two heterosexual leads, you can imagine why I'm not as interested in analyzing its queer subtext. You see, as you're about to find out, if you can spot gay subtext, my commentary is going to feel a little bit redundant. The gayness you're about to see here as we comb through Daten is self-evident to any adult with two brain cells to rub together. So that begs the question, why am I making a video about this random anime OP's obscure industry music video? Well, that has something to do with the comment section of the YouTube upload because, some people don't seem to have gotten the point. Like, at all. If you scroll where those with their sanity do not dare, and bother clicking the little translate buttons on the comments left by Japanese otaku, you'll start to notice a pattern. Gay people know it as heteronormativity, but I think it's funnier if I call it the goonerization of anime fandom. Why? Well, you'll just have to keep watching to find out. Before we start, I just want to get one thing out of the way. I don't speak Japanese. I can greet and order food, but I can do that in Spanish too, and I still need a translator. What I'm getting at is that I don't claim to understand Japanese more than the natives who actually speak it, that I just kind of made fun of for missing the point. Nor do I claim to be an authority in this video's subject. This is simply my queer reading into a work of art that I enjoy quite a lot. For all I know, my observations could be based in mistranslation and on misunderstandings of cultural context. I don't think that's the case, otherwise I wouldn't be making this video, but I'm not so narcissistic that I won't take a moment to acknowledge that possibility. So now, without further build-up, let's dive right into Daten so I can break down the depths of its queerness. The very first thing we see is an apple JPEG, spinning as it moves toward the camera. This apple JPEG appears everywhere, and it symbolizes the forbidden fruit, a term that gets thrown out a lot in this song's lyrics, and in general when dancing around the topic of, well, I'll just take a page out of a better YouTuber's book and call it the Devil's Tango. Next, the lyrics say that the singers are accomplices, stepping over some sort of border. While we hear this line, we see our two singers, DJ Matsunaga and Arshite, playing catch with the apple JPEG from earlier. We're starting out small, but the pattern of traversing the taboo is already pretty firmly established. On top of this, we frequently see the two men engaging in this transgressive behavior together. But let's keep going and see what happens next. Apparently, according to the lyrics, the next thing's an immediate blackout, accompanied by someone's anger. Again, if you think about it for a sec, it's not hard to process the association between blacking out and hookup culture. We see both members of CreepyNuts bowing and begging for forgiveness together. I think it's safe to assume that whatever regrettable act the lyrics are dancing around, the two characters here did it together. We see this hodgepodge of different religious figures that even turns red and shakes violently, and this isn't an uncommon way to present queerness, as an act of defiance against God. I struggle to gesture at a laundry list of examples because it's such a firmly established trope in the Western world. If you live in America, you know how the church feels about gay people.
No homos will ever be allowed on this church as long as I'm the pastor here.
Anyway, the groveling is followed by a slew of lines indicating confusion and self-loathing as visuals depict Arshite and DJ Matsunaga on opposite sides of a mirror. The line most worth pointing out here to me is, "Not even someone like me." I like to call this stage 1 of coming out. Oh no, I'm gay. This kind of denial is another frequent trope we see in queer media. This time I do have an example. Take the pair Kermit and Tommy from Shameless. Yes, we're talking about the TV show Shameless in the same video as the silly anime song. Tumblr girlies, eat your heart out. So real quick, Shameless is a super long-running American drama series. It aired on Showtime from 2011 all the way until its series finale in 2021. We're going to focus on two side characters here. Tommy and Kermit, but they're special side characters, series mainstays. For 11 seasons, Tommy and Kermit have been straight. Both have been married to women, I'm pretty sure, and as far as I can remember, they never mention experimenting with their sexuality. However, in the last season, after eating some, let's call them special brownies, one thing leads to another, and...
I always love this song. Yeah, me too.
So, why do I bring this up? Well, after this, Tommy and Kermit have a journey of denial and self-discovery. Besides, I think bringing up examples is important when talking about something as nebulous as gay undertones. I don't think it takes a scholar to see the gay subtext of this music video, but that's what makes comments like the ones that drove me to make this video so bewildering in the first place. Anyway, back to Daten. The denial in front of the mirror is followed with a short clip of the two musicians sitting on opposite ends of a coffee table, playing footsies with each other.
Whoa! Oh, gross! Oh, gross! Our feet touched! He touched our feet!
While the lyrics say, "I blamed it on you, now I have a secret." Before a chest opens beneath their feet with a collage of coiling snakes and fig leaves, symbols of temptation and the Garden of Eden. The fig leaves are even pointed out by the lyrics. We cut to a collage of the hiragana character Ah as the singer takes the story to the morning after. Now, I don't know enough about Japanese or the symbolism of hiragana to know exactly what they're getting at with this character, but my guess is that it's meant to symbolize the beginning of the singer's budding relationship, as well as the start of the next day. Whatever the case, the lyrics talk about falling into the sky and being unable to stop before taking one more bite again. While this doubles down on the themes of denial and self-loathing we saw earlier, there's a bit of nuance to it here. The beginning of a cycle of self-loathing before falling back into, let's call them gay habits that brought it on in the first place. I call this Stage 2. Oh no, I can't stop being gay! From this, we move into the chorus, which breaks out into gleeful singing about this vicious cycle as the two characters depicted by DJ Matsunaga and Arshite repeatedly dance together and fall from the sky. This chorus is a culmination of all the subtext leading up to it. If you've been following me so far, I think it speaks for itself. If you haven't been following, well, I don't know, you probably just think they're like happy or something. In the second verse, we hear that over there everything's jumbled together and the Buddha and devil have the same eyes, which doubles down on this confusion of right and wrong and whether or not what the characters are doing is okay. We've already touched on how this is a recurring theme in queer media, so I won't dwell on it again here. Like so much of Daten, it kind of speaks for itself. After a couple lines, we cut to a scene of our two characters running towards each other, being chased by painted fingernails. The lyrics say they came here by untangling themselves, and that the pointing fingers we see behind them only serves as a tailwind, as the two characters hop onto the fingers and ride them towards each other. I don't even know what to unpack here first. The self-discovery language, or the fact that it's specifically painted nails we see on the pointed fingers here. I think it's interesting that the lyrics suggest a tone shift of acceptance here. Not only are the characters unfazed by their social ostracization, they're now emboldened by it. All of this is followed by the pair of musicians riding the massive appendages between their legs into a love hotel, accompanied by the lyrics "staring at a snake" and "history's barren flower." And what do we see after this? Arshite, nervously watching DJ Matsunaga put the finger he's riding into a ring, while the lyrics refer to a vacancy in Eden. I'm gonna be real, I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to elaborate on what that means on YouTube anymore. The back-to-back innuendos are followed by a cut to the ah hiragana again, as we're treated to the words "I've been tainted again," and the passion for it begins to fade. Now, I ask you, what do you think we cut to after this? Place your bets. I'll wait. If you said DJ Matsunaga walking a tightrope with two Apple JPEGs spinning on his ass, then congratulations, you get a prize. After another chorus, we get a smooth jazz interlude as the video takes us through the streets of nightlife. We open the door to a place called the Bar Wings of Desire, as the camera leads us inside to see our two characters making small talk over empty drink glasses before one final cut to the chorus. And I think that's where we can leave this story, with our two characters sitting here at the bar. A bar after midnight is a surprisingly intimate locale. With nobody else around, it's almost like a room removed from time. And here we have just two guys who have long since finished their drinks, talking long into the night about how much they love hip-hop. Do you guys see why I'm making this video now? Every microsecond of this music video is dripping with the gayest undertones I've seen in any Japanese music video. But we have this crowd of hetero gooner otaku going, wow, they sure do love hip-hop. Yeah, I'm sure they do, but that is not what this song is about. There's this pattern that comes up a lot in queer media, where the biases of a broadly hetero audience can often drown out any queer reading of the story. We see this from time to time in Western media as well, like with the Pixar film Luca.
And we're not really going to talk about the movie so much as the shipping around this children's movie. And how even when the director comes out and says, no, this is just an innocent movie about two male friends having fun, the shippers read more into it, and you can't change their minds.
No, and then they're coming down upon everybody, and because it's our ship and we say so.
Granted, I don't think people are knowingly playing into this heteronormative culture. They're not paid grifters like the people who make the anti-LGBT slop I just showed off. But I think comments like these are a sign of a greater problem. Because no matter how much we Americans complain about misogyny and fan service, guess how many weird sexual harem shit came out this season? I'm not dating this video by answering that, but the fact that you likely had a number in your head proves my point. This is what I called the goonerization of anime fandom earlier. It's the reason that we get shows like Interspecies Reviewers and Call of the Night. See, I told you we'd come back around to it. Obviously, there are exceptions to these trends, but the trends do exist, and to ignore it and pretend that the comment sections like these aren't a symptom of that trend is silly to me. I used to defend sex-positive anime because to me it seemed to be counter to the Puritan culture in America, but is it really countercultural, or is that just an excuse? Because while I've seen so much fan service in anime that it doesn't even faze me, I've seen very little man service. And don't get me wrong, this isn't to say that anime can't or shouldn't be sexual. People can make whatever kind of art they want. I'm not here to police the people who make or watch stuff like that. I just thought it would be funny and drive engagement to use a buzzword to describe a trend that people have been talking about for decades. The point is that we only get to see fan service in the context of titillation for a typically male heterosexual audience. In anime, we don't get gay media in the way that we do here in Western media. There's no interview with a vampire, there's only Call of the Night. And sure, we may get the occasional Yuri on Ice or Kiss Him Not Me, but is that really enough? I mean, for one, you could make the argument that the queerness present in those shows is surface level, to say nothing of the fact that these shows are made for and consumed by a largely heterosexual audience. This isn't to devalue the existing queer work that we do have, nor is it to take away from whatever queer people got out of them, but should this be it? Is it enough to just have a couple shows where queer people can't even really agree on the extent to which they feel represented? Even if we're not just talking about shows centered on it, but general queer eye candy, we come up short. We've got what? Alexander the Great from Fate Zero? Senshi from Dungeon Meshi? That's all I got. You may think that this is a pretty silly thing to harp on, and it is, but it's something that wouldn't even occur to an uncritical straight man because fan service is catered towards their proclivities. When I first saw Daten, I thought, damn, I love this song, but this video is super weird. The second time I saw Daten, I thought, wait, is this a gay song? I think it's really easy to forget how good it feels to be seen and have your own life experiences represented in art if you don't see it often. It's even easier, though, when you see it so often that it's lost its meaning. And so when I see a song with such obvious gay undertones by a music group as big as Creepy Nuts, I just want to make sure that this stays a part of the conversation. I'm sure somebody could analyze this song a lot more thoroughly than I just did, and I hope they do. But for now, I'm the Flinchy Dinosaur, and you're watching Disney Channel.